just tell us a bit more about today's star witness, if you will.
Well, Wednesday we had two very detailed and fact-based testimonies. Today we're likely to get something more personal, a little bit more moving from Marie Yovanovitch. She is set to testify about her own experience, what she sees as a smear campaign personally against her. She was the target, she says, of a smear campaign organized by the Trump administration and led by Donald Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Remember that Donald Trump is said to have told the Ukrainian president that she would be going through some things, and I quote there, and that the woman was bad news, and she might be proving the U.S. president right as to whether she is bad news, because her testimony is expected to show, at least according to Democrats, and that's what they really want to get out of her, is for her to show how Donald Trump's self-interest and him acting outside the traditional lines of foreign policy really directly impacted her. And she will testify also on Rudy Giuliani's activity, and that is really a central piece of the impeachment case for the Democrat. She is set to testify once again that she feels that she was ousted earlier this year in the spring because she was fighting corruption in Ukraine, and because that fight against corruption was threatening two of Rudy Giuliani's associates who were later indicted here in the United States. And that's why she was removed. And that would be really going against and really negating the argument of the Trump administration, which is that he was acting because he was concerned about corruption in Ukraine overall and not specifically about Joe Biden and his son. Of course, the Republicans will be countering those arguments, saying that, well, the U.S. president has the power to fire anyone he wants, and that's not an impeachable offense. And also that because she was fired earlier in the spring, she has no direct knowledge of the events that took place over the summer, including that now infamous July 25th phone call.
Okay, so an important second day in these public hearings. And just briefly, if you will, tell us where you expect things to go to from here, Ketavan.
Well, those public testimonies are going to pick up pace next week, as the Democrats are hoping to really wrap up all these public hearings very fast in order to get this impeachment moving along. Eight witnesses are set to testify next week over the course of 3 days, including two other very key witnesses, Alexander Vindman, who will be testifying, as well as Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the EU, who is one of the key characters in all these events that happened between the United States and Ukraine.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for that update.